Hello and welcome to Blimey TV. I'm sitting here after Carlisle have just lost 1-0 away from home at Tranmere Rovers in the EFL League 2, putting Carlisle in 6th place, which is, it's not a bad place to be, but it is, considering this could have maybe took us up to 3rd if we'd got the result today. It also puts Tranmere up in the league, and what I have to say from this is that there's no worse time to play Tranmere than right after they've just employed a new manager and right after a 5-0 win from them. I think coming from a really tough result against Crawley, which we absolutely smashed them in, I think you look ahead at them two games, you see Crawley and Tranmere, two tough teams, both away from home, and you think, I'll take 3 points from them. And I think it shows just how well we did at Crawley last week that I'm now sitting here very disappointed about 3 points from 2 results. But genuinely, the first half we were hanging on for pretty much the entire thing, and then at the start of the second half we were just abysmal. It looked like Carlisle had already given up, even though it was still 0-0. It's almost as if they applied the pressure early on, and then the players thought, no, we can't get anything out of this because they're better than us. It seemed that the Carlisle players assumed that the Tranmere players were better than them, which they're not. I think Gimme Toure played awfully today. Not awfully, but he wasn't himself today. And I think when Amari Patrick came on, he looked bright, sharp, and it goes back to that point of when Toure was suspended and Amari Patrick was in instead, he played excellently. And now that Toure's come back into the side, he's made the side look slightly worse when he's been in. And even when Amari Patrick gets subbed on, the team looks better. And I think it's really harsh on him that he's lost his position to Toure. Another big issue today was the midfield, and it's not often I've been saying that, with Callum Guy being so high above everyone else this season, and John Mellish obviously with his goals. Joe Riley was pretty much non-existent today. And I think you see Dean Furman on the bench and you just think, why is he there? We're getting overrun in midfield. That's why he's here. That's why he's at the club in the first place. Why isn't he getting subbed on? We obviously put Gavin Riley up front who I can't remember him touching the ball. Obviously Amari Patrick coming on, he played really well. He had one good shot and another good cutback that John Mellish should have scored, but it was an excellent block. But again, it's that same problem of John Mellish is our only goal threat at the moment. I remember one of the commentators saying, and that's our first shot on target from someone who isn't John Mellish. And as much as I do love John Mellish, I think that the strikers need to step up the game. Luis Alessandro as well today. I think he made a few decent moves, but overall he was pretty much absent. We spent the entire first half just defending our box, and that isn't entirely a bad thing, because I remember a lot last season we would be on the press under pressure. We'd be great in the first half, then not get that first goal, and because we haven't got the first goal when we're playing well, we've then capitulated and conceded about 3. And I personally thought at half time that's what Carlisle would try and do. They've kept Tranmere out and they're going to be deflated a bit, so let's get out in the second half and push them. But they didn't. They came out in the second half really flat, and it was just not a good performance all around. Chris Beach against his old boss, I thought it would be the perfect fairy tale for him. If he'd have beat him today. Obviously coming into this job, people obviously didn't give him the respect he deserved when he first came in. People saying who's this, and then obviously he's turned our fortunes around. And I think that him beating his old boss would be a real showing that he is actually really about the promotion chase. But it wasn't to be today. It was a very bad result and a very bad performance. But I think it's as I've said in the past before. It's every single time we get a sniff of the automatic promotion places, we bottle it. I think that's disappointing. Although I would have took being in the promotion playoffs at the start of the season, now that I've seen what we are capable of at Crawley and how good a team we have, I think that we should be pushing for them automatics I was buzzing on Saturday at Crawley. I know obviously there's that element of us playing Saturday, Tuesday, and sometimes on Sunday, but and that will tire players out, and you will get performances like this where players are tired. But at the same time, that's not a good excuse because Tranmere and teams like that are also doing the exact same thing. Us and Tranmere both got a really good result on Saturday, probably the best performance of the season from both teams. But they obviously were the better side today, and although they had a really, really bad start to the season with this new manager coming in, and obviously with the good quality players they have, I think they'll be right up at the top end of the table, which is troubling for Carlisle because it's another promotion contender that at the start of the season didn't look to be there. And the more these teams do start improving and start becoming promotion contenders, the more we have to put up with them, the more we have to contend with them. And we need to be careful with ourselves here. I think it's a result we can move on from. You know, Grimsby obviously got smashed 5-0 last week by them, and we only got beat 1-0. That's a really, you know, that's not the kind of sentence you want to be making. But at the end of the day, it could have been worse today, but it wasn't. Obviously, their goal, the Farman completely spilled into his own net. That the linesman just decided didn't cross the line for some reason when it was blatantly obvious to everybody that it did. But at the same time, you know, their first goal happened pretty much right after that. So you've got to think as well. Some people will say we should have lost by 2 because of that incident, but if that had gone in, their first goal probably wouldn't have happened. So 1-0 probably a fair result. We had a few good chances. John Mellish's header in the first half, really excellent save, one of the saves of the round at least, or of the week. But as well, another save it wasn't a save, it was a block from one of their defenders. And I think Aaron Hayden stuck out like a sore thumb today for being frustrated. I know Beach chucked him up front for the last 5 minutes, which I thought that signified almost surrendering. You know, you've run out of things to do, so we'll just whack one out of our big centre backs up top as like a last roll of the dice, which is stupid when you've just put Mika Obiero on the pitch, and that's what he's for. Or instead of whacking one of your centre backs up, whack one of the strikers that you've got currently playing as wingers in the middle and try and use him instead. I think that was stupid from Beach, just putting him up front. And what really annoyed me was that last corner of the game where Callum Guy, you know, Farman comes up, and it's working out to be, you know, this could be a fairy tale ending if we get this. And Callum Guy puts it in, it's low, and it doesn't make it past the first man. And if the keeper doesn't blow his whistle, Tranmere are away for their second goal because we've got no keeper back. I think you need to be doing better than that, and I think they had given up long before the final whistle, which is not something you should be doing when you want to be in the promotion race. They just looked like they'd surrendered after the first goal, to be honest with you, and even before that, they just didn't look up to it today. But it's with all of the good results we've had been recently, we're bound to have one of these results that just doesn't go our way. And hopefully we can get a good result in the FA Cup, send us through to the third round, maybe get a big team. Hopefully fans will be allowed back in stadiums by then. That's some other big news that's come from this week. Fans may be allowed back in the stadium, and I think that flatness that the players had today would have been really spiked up if crowds were back in the stadium. I suppose it was an away game, so an away fans probably won't be there. But fans probably would have, you know, got their sharpness up a bit, because they just look flat and they look like they're giving up, which I don't think a Carlisle away crowd would have let happen. I've been in quite a lot of Carlisle away crowds, and I can confirm if a team's playing like that, you will get some abuse. But look, I think overall we're in a good position still in course of the season, and although it isn't a good result, Tranmere are a tough side. We've got some easier games coming up. Obviously, a very difficult one in the FA Cup against Doncaster, but look, there's nothing that can be done now. I hope Chris Beach gives them a right kick up the arse in the changing room, and we move on. So yeah, in a bit.